visit somebody right on my call. This is the moment you're meant to know.
Hello, my sunflowers. How are you? How are you? How are you? Well, I hope everything with you is copacetic. Well, today I want to come to you and I want to talk about what's his name? Donald Glover, who we know as Childish Gambino. Well, it is sad that he had a stroke. He was in concert and he'd been having this really, really, really bad headache. And he said, and finally, when he went to the doctors, he found out he had a stroke. He is 42 years of age. My God. Now, understand, 42 years old for my age, it would sound young. But 42 from an 18-year-old or 22-year-old or 20, that may sound older. So, because I remember when I was coming up, when I heard somebody say 45 or 42, that was an old man. So I don't want to get caught up in he was young. I just want to say it was shocking to hear that in retrospect, when there is so much life to live. But remember, he's 42, he's only 8 years away from being 50. And as we all know, it's only in the 40s a lot of times, more than that. I mean, this is just my opinion. A lot of times in 40s, when you're starting to have ailments, hypertension, things like that, it start coming during the time that you're going through the premenopausal, those things. When you start getting, and he's 42 years old, and yet he had a stroke. Anyone can have a stroke. But I'm saying for today and for medicine and where we are today, I found that shocking. And I felt like, wow, I don't want a stroke and I don't want a heart attack. And so he seems like he recovered. I'm sure when he heard the news, I am sure that he was flabbergasted. I'm sure that he couldn't believe it. And because he's talking about it, I think he's doing it for awareness. I think he's grateful that he survived and that he is not. You don't know what the doctor could have told him because he said he had this really bad headache. So you don't know what the doctor could have told him. The doctor could have told him he could have died. We don't know the conversation. But I say to you, please check your pressure. Check your blood pressure. Matter of fact, get your blood work done. Get a physical. And I'm not saying he didn't do any of those things. But I am saying he did not check his pressure because he's 42 years old, not thinking, maybe I should be checking my pressure at my age because you feel a way. But we're getting older, folks, and we're going to have to take care of ourselves and look into things. I mean, our diet and everything. We really need to care about that. That is my message to you. Love yourself enough to check on yourself. And then he went a while. He said, after a while, he must have been stuck with this headache for a minute. And it must have been excruciating, which I understand. And he said that he went to the hospital. And that's when he found out, oh my God, I just had to talk about that. So to hear that, my heart beats for him. And I hope that he takes care of himself and be aware of his body. And, sometimes when we do have a headache, we do think a stomach ache or something. We do try to play it off and just say, oh, this is not normal. But, I've had this before or, this is, And so we do take it for granted because we don't want to go to the emergency room for every little thing. That's why they have, when you go to many of the hospitals in the States, they take your blood pressure, they check your temperature, they check those things because they know you may have to sit and wait in the emergency room. But if they checked it and your blood pressure is high, you're going to get immediate help. If your heart rate is off, you're going to get immediate help. You see, because they're going in, who is the worst. So please go into that emergency room because your heart is off. They are not going to allow you to sit in an emergency room when they know that, because they know they take your high risk at that point. So please go to the doctors if your heart ain't right, if your head hurting. They could take your blood work. They could take your vitals, and that will tell them, do you need to be first, second, or third? Please, please go. And he did go. And whatever it was, it must have wasn't severe enough, because from what I'm hearing, he's made whole. And I was just shocked. And now I just want to read on him, and I just want to see how he is doing. How is Childish Gambino doing after that hell of an experience? Ooh, that head must have been hurting him. Oh, my God. So let's see. Childish Gambino. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you, Bino? That's what I got. Here we go. We got good news, or we got something here that's talking about pentacles, and pentacles deal with anything earthly. So let's expound on that a little bit. So let's go from the past. Let's see. Okay, we see the Empress. So we see someone that's very nurturing, very caring, and we're reading on his health. So let's just go another. Now here we see the swords. So this is what I see. Now, what I see here, I think that he had some woman or someone around him, or maybe his mother, maybe his father, maybe his best friend, or whatever, was telling him, I think you need to go and get your head checked out. Someone nurturing, someone feeling like this is not normal, and he must have procrastinated a little bit, but someone was there in his life at that moment to tell him to go and get checked out, to go and get your body, go get your earthly body checked, see if you're okay. And when he went, he found that there was something sharp pain in his head, pointing up, frequency, the mind, the brain. So his brain was affected. So we know from this read that someone was encouraging him. It could have been calling his mom, could have been calling his girlfriend, could have been calling a significant other. He could have been talking to someone that worked with them. But we know that someone was encouraging him to go and get checked out. Who that person is, I don't know. And after a brief, he did get it checked out, because it must have was excruciating pain, a stabbing, thralling pain, where he had to go. And he found out that it was something. Now, in his mind, he did go. He did go reluctantly. He did go. He did go. He took the time and the space to go. He did. He couldn't bear it, so he went. And he was shattered. The head. He had stroke. He's blessed. He's fortunate. And so he thinks of these things now. How I'm glad that I went when I went, but the next time, hopefully it's not a next time, but I'm going to make sure I stay up on these things. I'm going to make sure that I go when something don't feel right with me, because this was let me get the right word. This was a mind-blowing experience for him. Painful as all towers fall. This is the head. So his head, and this was a hell of an experience for him. And what he walked away with, wiser, smarter, stronger, and understanding more. that he won't take it for granted. He's saying, when it come down to my health, I'm going to be on it. I'm going to be on it because he doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to be maimed. He want to be strong. He want to sing. He want to make, that's how his livelihood. He's not trying to do anything to take away from his livelihood. Childish Bambino. Who would have thought? That's the thing. None of us think that it could be us. Now, so we see where he's at in his head. We see where he's at in the head. We see where how this all generated in his body and where he's at. So, but the thing is, it does show that he's strong. Physically, overall, he was strong. His body was strong. It wasn't no weakling body. But before I go, let me make sure. Well, he has had problems in the past, but you know how you get a help and overall you're good, but you got some issues. So it shows that he had some issues and he knew he had issues, or he knew he was suffering with something, because here we see the moon show up. So we know that when that moon, he knew something wasn't right, something. But instead of him jumping on it, sometimes we just need a little bit more pain, a little bit more agony to say, okay, I am convinced, you know. He doesn't want to die. And he feel like he could have died. This is how he feel. He feel like he could have died. And whoever was that person that told him to go, he is grateful. Who told him, whoever was around him said, man, I think you need to go, or man, I think you need to go, or Donald, you need to go. Whoever pressured him upon him like a motherly figure, a caring person, whoever it was, he is grateful that he listened, because he's saying he know he could have died or been truly maimed in some way. So he's glad that he didn't put it off. You know, you think, I have a stroke, and maybe I have a stroke or a heart attack, and I'm living and I'm going on with my life, and I don't think that, and I may be okay. I may be okay for a month or 2 or 3, but then the next one will come, and that won't be so mild. This one you could do something, but the next one, it may not be so kind. That's why he moved when he moved was good. But he knows now it's Russian roulette. He knows that he's prone for strokes. He knows now that he has to eat better, do better, rest better, get himself together. What I'm seeing this reading is about this was a hell of an experience that he felt like I could have died experience. And he feels as like for the grace of goodness, God, the universe, I'm here. Because he know it could have been worse. And now he's still adjusting to this. His mind haven't adjusted that at 42 years old, I had a stroke. He's still adjusting. And so much so, he put it out to the media. He's talking to the media. This was a hell of an experience for him. He almost died. And whoever it was or whatever it was that insisted that he go, because he was putting it off. Or the mother and him said no more, because it's horrible, and working and doing what he's doing, giving performances and all of that, he could have dropped dead on the stage. I hate to sound so morbid, but we take these things for granted. We got to learn to listen to our body. And he knows now this is the wheel of fortune. He got lucky. He got blessed this time. And now that he know, he can do better, because this shouldn't happen again. And I think that he's speaking because he wants the world to know it could have been you. But it happened to me. And I know that if I went to the hospital or my daughter went to the hospital and they said that she had a stroke, I would be mortified. I would always be worried about her. If it was me, I would just be wanting to change my diet, change the way I do things, performing. And I would be so, and that would take me, it would have to take me a couple of months to adjust, like about 6 months, a year, to adjust to the new change in my body. We have to take care of ourselves. And now that the holiday is coming, many of us, we're going to overeat or branch out and eat the wrong thing. I'm guilty because I want an apple pie. And I know, but I'm going to do it because I like apples and because they're cooked. I'm thinking I'll try a little bit, but I want an apple pie. And I'm going to pray and bless and believe that I can be okay with soft apples, cooked. I think I will be. But anyway, back to him and to you. Be careful what you eat this Thursday. Be careful. Just because it's a holiday, let's just do something different. Let us become self-conscious. And this is the time to do it with inflation the way it is. We really, really, really need to become self-conscious. And for all of us out there, I'm going to read for all of us. I'm going to leave these cards right there. And this is the Danny Glover, but I'm going to shuffle up the energy. And this is for us. This is for us, all of us who's planning on overeating, overindulging, over drinking, overly doing something, taking our diet for granted, thinking that it's okay. This reading is for us over the holidays. For this not Christmas, for this Thanksgiving. Where do we stand? Where do we stand? Here we go. We know that it's going to be scrumptiously delicious. We know it's going to be a lot before it's tempting us out. Looking down at that, we know, okay? We got it. We got earth bounty in our hands. You see the pentacles, earth bounty holding in our hand, and we're looking at it. This is the day where, certain things you eat only once or twice a year, so this is a bountiful one. So let's see. Now we know, how were we in our past? In our past, we felt open, we felt fire, and it burns up a lot of energy. So we could eat it and get away with it because we know even though we had the black cat there guarding us, but now we was open with the sunflower seed, all life open and wise, knowing, hey, we can eat, have a good time, open, staff, feeling confident, not thinking like Bandino, not thinking it can happen to many of us. But now where we are, the King of Pentacles, be mindful. You have the Queen of Pentacles who's looking down ready to eat, but you have the King of Pentacles who's saying, looking at us. She's looking down at the bountifulness. He, on the other hand, is looking at her side-eyed. Let me make sure I can put it up so you can see this. Am I right? Okay. There it is. He's looking at her side-eye. Like, be mindful what you eat. They burn a lot of stuff in the foods these days, chemicals. Be mindful. Be a king over your diet this Thanksgiving. And what else I can say? I can say nothing else. So I got this. So let me just do a final outcome. Let me just go. No. Let me go over here. So we know we got the king watching. You mean to be mindful. You saying, look, I want to be mindful what I eat. You want to be. But will you be? Let's see. Will we? Will we? This is the final outcome. What does the oracle have to say? What does the oracle have to say? Oracle Monica. That's what I'm going to call you. Oracle Monica. What do we have to say? What do you have to say about this. I'm so used to dealing with big cards, these little cards here. Let's see. Let's shuffle one more time. And let's see. Okay, they so little for me. Okay, here we go. This is what the oracle has to say. Oracle, Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving. It says, okay, let me get some broken glasses here. Hold on. Abundance, growth, fun, good times, a period of maximum energy time, celebrate life, abundance. This is a time for abundance, a time to celebrate, a time to enjoy, to eat. It's like summer. It's like it feels like it's summer when you have these holidays. And for many of us go to warm places. So it feels abundant. When it's summer, it's abundant, you feel life, you got life energy. And so now as we're entering into the winter solstice, yes, eat up, enjoy, get married, have fun, because you're getting ready to go into the darkest season, and that is the winter solstice. So yes, eat like it's summer, eat in abundance, but be mindful. Have fun as the days get longer. Have fun. Enjoy this fun. This is why these holidays are here, because of the darkness that is about to fall and the coldness in many parts of the country. So be mindful. And last, be consistent this season. Be consistent in your diet. Be consistent in the way we all eat. We all need to be consistent and work on our diets. This is what the cards are saying. Yes, on the holiday on Thursday, live it, have fun, but be mindful. That's what the king says. It's there, it's abundant, have fun. You need it. Things get ready to get dark, so have fun, but be consistent. Be consistent to what you do that is good and that is healthy for your body and for me too, because I want to eat a piece of apple pie, but I know moderation, and I got to keep doing things in moderation, and so do you. And I think if Childish Gambino had anything to say, I think he would say moderation and everything you do. I am so glad that he survived this. I am so glad that it didn't deform him in a physical way that one would notice. I am so glad that it didn't leave him paralyzed or crippled or blind. I am so glad, because he is a talented soul. I hope you enjoyed this message. I was just shocked to hear that happened to him. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I really do. I know I put us in it because I'm reading on health. And I think that it has to deal with all of us. And with that, we all can learn something, and we all can do better. And with that being said, happy holiday. And with that, if you like this kind of stuff, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, become a sunflower. Spread truth and love and seeds of goodness and wisdom in the earth. That's what it's all about, folks. That's what it's all about. And with that being said, I say sunflowers.